Hello everybody, my name is Bianca and I'm joined with Marion and Steve, and we are part of the team at Everyday English. How are you doing, Marion? How are you doing, Steve?
Fine, thank you, Bianca.
Excellent. Well, what we thought we'd do is we thought we would do an online version of our conversation cafe where we can talk to you all, share tips on how to speak English, some of those learning skills that might be useful. Just generally have a chit chat together on a Saturday. I almost said Monday then, it felt like a school on a Saturday afternoon. So that's our plan, at least. So, Mariam, my first question goes to you. What advice would you give anybody if they were starting off learning English as a second language?
Well, obviously, it depends on what circumstances you're learning in. I mean, if you're learning in this country or if you're learning abroad, those are two different situations in some ways. But I would say the main thing with learning English or any language is practice. Practice as much as you possibly can. Take every opportunity to listen to English, to speak English, to write and read English, because that is what pushes people forward when they're learning a language.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's what I was going to be thinking. One of the things that I also think is don't be afraid to make mistakes.
No.
Yeah, sometimes people, you can see that they've got the words stuck because they don't want to make a mistake.
Yeah, exactly. And they'll stop and they will say, did I get that right? And while that's a good question to ask sometimes, it's actually a good idea as well. Just keep talking, keep making yourself understood, keep listening to your answers, because sometimes the answer is in the answer that you get.
Yeah.
So, don't keep checking on yourself all the time. Be brave. Enjoy it.
Yeah. Have you got any tips, Steve?
Not at the moment. I'm trying to sort something out. Sorry.
Technical difficulties.
Yes, Steve is our IT guru. One of the things that I'm learning Spanish at the moment, and so one of the things that I say to my English students is try and do 15 minutes every day. Whether you're reading, whether you're listening, but try to do something that then keeps it into your memory. When you just go to one class 1 week and you don't do anything till the following week, it's really hard.
It is. And we have so many suggestions. If you want to know what can I do to practice, where can I go to access English or to practice English, we do know so many different places that you can go for that. And, it's actually more available than you might think.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what I was thinking is we've been doing conversation cafes for a little time, but I'm not sure people really understand what a conversation cafe is. So this is
I think you're right.
like one. Yeah, almost. But if you had to sum up what a conversation cafe is, Marion, how would you sum it up?
It's an opportunity for people to share their cultures and share their languages. So it's not just about learning, because, you certainly will manage to do some learning, but it's of a language, but it's also about just sharing what you know, learning what other people know.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
it's about socializing as well.
It's also a space where you can meet new friends. And this is especially important in these COVID times because we're quite isolated at the moment. What we would have used to have done is we would have gone to a cafe to meet up and we would have seen each other in the real world. But now we can't do that because we're not allowed to go to cafes.
No,
And
and we
so-
did do that. It was lovely to be able to just have people from all over the world, all over with different backgrounds, sitting in one place talking. It was lovely.
Yeah, absolutely. It was really nice. One of the things I liked about it is that whilst we got to share English skills, I got to learn a bit of Chinese, a bit of Vietnamese, some Spanish, some French. So that was really lovely. And it did more than that. It taught people some of the things that living in England is all about. So, for example, one of the people who used to come to the conversation cafes was from Spain, and he didn't know that you have to put your rubbish out after 6:30 in the evening. So in Northampton, he put his rubbish out early, and he got a warning letter about it. So
Yes.
it's just about the language, it's about the cultural expectations and how we can help people.
Yes, because where I come from, that isn't a rule. So in Dunstable, they don't make you do that. So if I moved to Northampton, I wouldn't know that, even though I'm English.
Yeah, absolutely. So the good thing about it is about how we can share different information. Like, what are the rules on fireworks? Because we've had firework night recently. Joanne, how has everybody found that?
Exactly. And things like Halloween, the things that we do on Halloween, obviously we didn't do them this year, but so for many people, I'm sure that's a new tradition, and people suddenly knocking on your door asking for treats, dressed up in scary costumes is a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that would have been a little bit scary.
Yeah.
A little bit unfortunate, but also it can be quite difficult for people who have come from war-torn places to come to England, and then with all the bangs and noises, that can be really scary this time of year.
Yeah, absolutely. Without any explanation, because in the we know it's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the other things I was just thinking is how difficult it must be if you can't speak English clearly or confidently at the COVID times. How do you get your COVID test? How do you
Yes,
access healthcare, or what does furlough mean?
Yeah.
Do you mean if
How do you get your information? Even the information it seems easily available, but not if English isn't your first language.
Yeah, absolutely. It is really difficult. So a conversation cafe is a place where you can ask some of those questions. When you see us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, you can ask us not just questions about how do you contract different words, or what's the past principle of a particular verb, or things like that, but you can also ask us some of the practical everyday living questions. June, what's going on in your community? Have you got any questions about how you can keep COVID safe, or about your housing? I mean, is there a word in a letter that you've got you don't understand? You can bring it here to us and we'll help you with that. So it's a really nice informal way, and the more you practice English just as a chit chat, just as a conversation, you'll find that your vocabulary increases naturally.
It really does. Yes, you have to believe that.
Because we were running a conversation cafe, and it was a mixed ability. So we had people who IELTS were like level 8 students, they're university students. But we also had some people who were real beginners. So one lady who'd come from Pakistan, and her English was very basic. So although she couldn't necessarily contribute to the conversation as much as she would like, 6 months on, her vocabulary is huge and she is contributing loads now. So just listening to the words, they kind of enter your word bank without you even saying it.
And the nice thing about a conversation cafe is that there is somebody there to help guide people in their contributions. So sometimes it's hard in just an ordinary group where you're socializing. It's easy just to sit in the corner and not get involved. But if you're in a conversation cafe, there's somebody there who will help you get involved. And and you also know you're in a safe place. Nobody's going to laugh. Nobody's going to get impatient. Nobody's going to not want to hear what you say because it takes a bit longer for you to say it. That's not what we do. That's not how we run our conversation cafes.
So, we've given you a brief snapshot of what a conversation cafe is, and we're going to take a quick tea break. So, we'll be back again in a little while. Don't go too far. We just want to tweak some things on Twitch, check that we've got all our audio correct, as this is our first time doing it in this way. So bear with us while we just do some of those things, stick the kettle on, and come back and join us in a few minutes' time. See you.